And it is your objective to build and protect your business according to your standards. It doesn't mean that they're not talented, that they're not good, that they're not capable. It is. They're going to find the perfect fit for them elsewhere. But for you, as CEO of your business, you must choose what is best for the organization. So step one is to get to the underlying issue behind their performance. Get to the root cause of their performance issues. Is it a lack of skills? Help them get skills. Is it lack of motivation? Well, if it's lack of motivation, probably not going to be helpful because people have to be intrinsically motivated. It's something else. Now, I had an opportunity to move somebody into a PIP. And when I took the time to actually understand what was going on in her situation, she had said, you know what? I haven't been as available for work. I haven't been paying attention. I've been missing deadlines because she had become recently a caretaker for her mom. It was a very private matter. If I didn't take the time to sit and have a conversation with her one-on-one for her to let me know that her mom got sick and her mom moved in with her and her taking care of her mom was impacting the amount of work that she did, I won't know if I would have ever learned that. So me listening to the story and saying, hey, we're here to help and we're here to support. We will absolutely be flexible with what you need us to be flexible on. So her PIP turned into less about performance and less about time management. What could we do to help this? What could we take off her plate? How long might it take for her to get used to her being at home with her mom? That was a very different PIP than, hey, you're not doing a job. It was just, hey, there's a lot on your plate. How do we sit here and support that? That became a very different performance review. Step number 2 is to provide clear and direct feedback and expectations. Now, to do this, you're going to want to explain how achieving those results, achieving those things aligns with the organizational objectives. Now, this is going to be a test. If I tell somebody like, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z because it aligns with our goal, and then they become defensive or argumentative, or maybe they're just unwilling to change. That has happened before. Like, it is likely time to part ways. That energy transfer between people, you get a very clear read at where they're at. Now, I was working with a former manager of customer success here at Social Curator, and this person had continuously asked to hire more people. And before we hired, I asked the manager to create a system on how the team handled tickets and the average response time. I asked this person, hey, maybe you can change the system so that we're optimizing for turnaround time, not optimizing for specific team members on CST to do that. So here's what was happening. Tickets were coming in, they were being assigned to a specific customer success team member, but not everybody on our team was working full time. So if somebody came in for, let's just say, like a 6-hour shift, and they didn't respond within that 6 hours to the second follow-up, the person who was emailing had to wait a full 24 hours to get a response. And I thought to myself, this is silly. So we're asking for more people to work part-time, but if we just change the system so that we said, we have a standard way of responding to tickets, and they're not specific to each team member, well, we wouldn't have to hire more people. We would just have to train everybody on how to jump into other people's conversations. I had asked her, please create a system that trains the team on tickets and not personalities. And because I asked her to create a system and it wasn't in alignment to what she wanted to do, and it wasn't in alignment to how she wanted to run that department, she put in her notice a month later. I was bummed. I really loved this person, but this person had a very distinct way of doing it. And I, as the protector and an organizational structure person on this team who saw a very clear way to build a system for optimized productivity and managing costs, which is my job, it wasn't in alignment. Now, it doesn't mean that this person wasn't in alignment for somebody else's organization who wanted to handle it that way and had a budget to hire out a team, but it wasn't in alignment here. We became out of alignment, she made a decision, and it was the good call. Now, on the flip side of this, if you feel like an employee is receptive, excited to grow, and grateful for this feedback, that shows they're committed to their role and they care about the company's goals and vision as a whole. And if that's the case, the feedback will motivate them and they're going to be excited to implement your feedback on their next assignment or project. Now, I want to pause here. Let's just play out the situation differently. For that manager who put in her notice and she left the organization, what would it have it looked like if she had said, hey, I don't necessarily agree that your approach is best, but I'm willing to try and test it. If she had tried and tested and we ended up with the same result, I would have stood down. I would have said, well, we have proof that the test didn't work. So now we get to create a new test or go back to your other way of doing it and hiring more people. All I needed from the manager was to say, I'm open and willing to try something else to get a different data set so that we can actually make an organizational decision. Now, as a quick review, step 1 was when somebody's on a performance review, understand the underlying issue. Step 2 is providing clear feedback and expectations. Now on to step 3. You want to offer tailored support and development. Now, I know this seems time consuming, and quite honestly, you feel like, man, do I have to handhold? But this is the only way you're going to be able to see whether you're going to get a team member up to speed. You're going to see, oh, this is where they're getting tripped up. But more importantly, they're going to see that you care about their improvement. When a team member is in PIP, their direct report is available at any time in Slack. They can get a meeting with their manager. That's a priority. They can even have a weekly check-in if they want. In fact, sometimes we request the weekly check-in. Now, if we want people to succeed, and we do, then we're going to show up for them. And we're going to need to ensure that we did everything we could to support their outlined expectations. We don't want them feeling like they're set up to sink. Now, the last step of the framework is to hold them accountable. Employees want to be held accountable. Accountability demonstrates your commitment to their growth and development, and it reinforces those expectations for continued growth and advancement on the team.